What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother for the donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. All right, so I'm going to talk about something that I have not talked about on social media, not on YouTube, not on Patreon, or on Rumble, and that is this case involving Daniel Perry and Jordan Neely. Daniel Penny is standing trial in New York City for the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on the subway back in the spring of 2023. Jury deliberations are underway as 5 men and 7 women weigh whether Penny is guilty of second-degree manslaughter or criminally negligent homicide in Neely's death. If convicted on the manslaughter charge, he faces up to 15 years in prison. Penny served 4 years with the U.S. Marine Corps, and Jordan Neely was a Michael Jackson impersonator who had a history of mental illness. At the time of the incident, Jordan Neely was 30, Daniel Penny was 24. All right. Now, just do a little bit of back history. Penny served 4 years with the U.S. Marine Corps, and his platoon sergeants testified at his trial. They spoke about the Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment, saying if a member does not uphold those values, they will not be promoted. And Jordan Neely had a tragic backstory. Back in 2007, his mother was unalived, and tragically, her body found in a suitcase, stuffed in a suitcase in the Bronx. And it was at that moment that Jordan Neely's mental health and his life began to unravel, and he suffered from periodic bouts of homelessness and acute mental illness. Now, let me say this. There are many people that try to compare this with the George Floyd situation, or, maybe even with Sandra Massey. And those two situations cannot be compared to this. As we all know from the videotape, Massey was, let's be honest, man. She was taken out by a maniac who did not deserve to be wearing a badge. And in my opinion, George Floyd was taken out by a rogue, renegade, power-hungry, and I would say racist police officer. This situation, I can't say that Penny has a history of being a racist. I can't. There's not a history of misconduct there. Also, when it comes to Jordan Neely, according to reports, the guy was going around raving and ranting at people, threatening violence. So I can't sit up here and say that this case is similar to the others. However, the biggest problem I have with when it comes to Penny, right, is the chokehold. The chokehold, apparently, the one that he was using on Jordan Neely, that chokehold was illegal, at least in civilian world. Like that's a chokehold that was known for being one that, if administered for too long, can lead to unconsciousness and death. Okay, and another thing that's put out there now is that when NYPD arrived on the subway, because this incident occurred on the subway in New York, Jordan Neely was still alive. According to some reports, the NYPD failed to administer CPR or what have you to resuscitate or even administer the proper medical help and care that Jordan Neely needed. Also, according to some reports, Jordan Neely was a guy that suffered from some health issues, sickle cell anemia. He also was under the influence of some types of drugs. I don't know what drugs, but some type of drugs. Um, this is what I'm telling you. Like, this is one of the cases where my passions are not ignited. Like, I don't really know what to say about this one. This one, I will say this: I'm bothered by the racial overtones that I see from many who I think are only siding with Penny because of the fact that he, in their eyes, unalived a black man. I don't like how it's always a situation where some people always want to justify the black person in, all being unalive, and somehow using that person's past as a justification for unaliving this person. When, if you put the shoe on another foot, exact same circumstances, the rhetoric and tone would be different. They'll be saying, well, who is he to put the law into his own hands? Who is he to go around doing that? That's not his job. He took someone's life. He should pay for that. But that argument won't be used when it's a situation like this. You know, much how, like, let's say, this is a situation with Jordan. What's the guy that got Jordan? Dylan Roof, right? The kid that, the young man, I should say, who took out the lives of 9 black parishioners in that church, right? There's almost no mentioning of the victims. It's like the victims are blurred in time, and all the focus was on Dylan Roof, and oh, he had a bad day, and mental health issues, and the kid is troubled. It's always this push to minimize what he did and make it out to be that, oh, he has mental health issues. Same thing they did with that shooter in what was it, the Buffalo shooter that was purposely targeting African Americans. It becomes less about what crime they committed, the heinous crime they committed, and more about, well, he's having mental health issues. You know, that's why he's doing what he's doing, or he has a chemical imbalance, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That gets under my skin, and I know that gets under the skin of a lot of people. From what I read, $3 million plus have been raised to help Penny out with his financial or his legal issues, I guess. I don't know, man. The It doesn't seem like I'm hesitant to really to say certain things. It's just honestly, I don't care about this case. I don't. I don't care about this case. The dude was going around raving and ranting and threatening people. Um, like at some point, man, I just can't keep putting my energy. And look, if it sounds like I'm like being callous, well, look, man, I've gone through this for far too long, man. Ever since the Rodney verdict, the Rodney King situation, right? You just get tired of putting your energy into these situations where a lot of times the person who is doing it are doing dumb shit that leads to these situations. And then people like myself and you, we put all our energy and passion into, you know, speaking for this individual. Sometimes we get even more proactive. People put money to the situation, protesting, etc., etc. Media gets involved. Then this person, sometimes in a few situations, they're exonerated or the verdict goes the way we want to. Then what do? They get out of prison and do the same dumb shit. Just like their brother, I shouldn't call him brother, the dude that was found to be not guilty, at least from the evidence of a crime that he had been convicted of. He gets paid like $4 million, I think it was, only for this dude to go out and unalive somebody off a $1,200 debt. But at some point, I'm like, man, look, fuck you. Okay, this dude, according to reports at least, sought not to get help for his mental health issues. Look, what happened to his mother is absolutely disgusting. And I think anybody would struggle with their mental health after something like that happens. But if you know that you're a person that struggles with those types of issues, why is it that you turn away from help? You're turning away from it. Like you're succumbing. You're basically saying, well, I'm going to inflict on society the pain that I'm feeling. So at some point, man, I'm just not feeling this situation. I don't give a shit. I don't care, man. I don't care. This dude shouldn't be paraded as a hero because he didn't do something that, you know what I'm saying, that I think warrant that. But at the same time, there's too many gray areas in this situation where I can't definitively say one or the other whether what he did was justifiable and that, you know, his intent wasn't racial. And then I can't say, you know, that this dude that was unalived was an innocent total victim. That's just how I feel about this. You know, I really don't. You know, I just can't put this in the same category as, say, Sandra Massey or Sandra Bland or George Floyd or um, Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery. I can't put this in the same category as those cases. I just can't. But anyway, that's just my take on it, at least. And oh, and by the way, it is Daniel Perry's case a witch hunt by Alvin Bragg. I don't know, man. It's possible. Anything's possible at this point, man. You know, like I said before, prosecutors, all of them, are motivated by self-interest. Um, they try to pad their records. Most of them have political aspirations, so that's definitely a possibility here. You know, Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell what you guys think.